What's up, guys? Welcome back to the palace. Whew, it's a little chilly in here, but I decided it was time to talk about the last light language transmission, and not just on Patreon, but also on here. It felt like something that needed to just be shared with everybody. And it's a little bit something I'm processing, and a little bit what I'm anticipating as you're connecting to the light language as well, what you will be processing. Because like I said, I've said in other light language transmissions that I've done, that when I'm doing a transmission, I'm also receiving the transmission too. So in this last week, since I had posted it, which I basically did the light language transmission and then posted it the next day, so it was very recently that I had done it. Since that time, I need to do better on my intros. Like, I need to set a foundation. Got it. Thank you, spirit guides. Okay. Welcome back to the Palace of Persephone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone who is subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting. I'm getting close to being able to support myself through this modality, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you. I think if there's anything you want to know about me, you can check the description box. If there's any ways you want to connect with me, description box. Everything I put is in the description box. So, I did the light language transmission most recently for clearing out blockages in the throat chakra. And I spoke a little bit directly after the video to patrons, specifically what I was feeling in that moment after doing the transmission. But oh my goodness, like, you see how the light is coming in right now as I just went, oh my goodness, that's literally what it felt like after doing the light language clearing for my throat. I felt like for like the next number of days. And shortly after, and this is why it's kind of like a side note, and I'm going to put it in the title of the video, for those of you who are finding me on here because you are also a Capricorn / Aquarius rising, and Saturn has moved into Pisces for you and shifted out of that energy, I am officially in my Saturn return. I'm very excited. I didn't necessarily anticipate that I was going to feel excited about that, but I am, because I feel that I understand Saturn in a better way now, also as a Capricorn rising, and I understand what is being asked of me, and I'm ready to do that. And I think I'm grateful that he moved through my first house and kind of did all of that he did, and I'll speak on another video what I received on that, but I think it's affected some of what has been coming out for me since this recent transmission. So I did the light language for clearing the blockages in the throat, and then the next number of days, and you may notice this, and you can tell me in the comments if you have noticed anything. I would like for you to like sit with, when you do a transmission, being aware in your like everyday environment of being like kind of not challenged or tested, but being presented opportunities to then notice something different is happening in your throat. And that's what's been happening for me. So I did the transmission. The next number of days, I would have moments arise where typically I might quiet myself, I might not say anything, I might act like I didn't hear something so that way I won't have to say anything about it. And instead, what I started noticing what was happening, like I said, Saturn return is happening. I also noticed that instead I was speaking my truth, but also doing it in a way where like I was not afraid. It wasn't like, oh my god, my throat chakra is unblocked and I'm saying something and I don't want to say it. It was like, oh no, I feel this way and I'm going to say it. And that's very new for me. I've done, Reiki on myself. I practice Reiki, but I don't do it every day. I am aware of blockages in my throat, and I exercise, trying to speak out or working on my throat. But after doing this most recent transmission, I have definitely noticed an ability to just like word vomit, and not in a fearful way, in a way where I'm simply speaking something that I feel, and I feel protected. I feel like confident in what I'm saying. I feel protected to speak my truth and know that no harm shall come to me for doing that. And that's what I've been feeling. And so I got all these opportunities, like someone might do something I don't like, and I would be like, hey, I don't like that. Or somebody would do something like, can you please stop? Or I need you to do this. Or really like things that I would originally find to be a little too abrasive, a little too mean. I've been like, oh, I don't know, that's too, and it's not. That's what I've been noticing, I've been feeling, is that it's not mean. I feel very just like clear. I just feel very grounded when I do it, and I don't feel mean when I do it. It feels like I'm honestly just like, no, I'm just expressing myself. I don't want that, or I do want this. Please don't do that. And that's very new for me. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit on a video here on the YouTube instead of just on the Patreon, because some of you who receive the light language transmission aren't patrons, and this is something I'm noticing. And I want to see if, well, I don't necessarily need to know, you don't need to share it with me, but if you could just sit with yourself and be like, have I noticed any recent situations where I might not usually say something and I have, or I feel people have been saying, wow, excuse me, or they're like taken aback by things you say or your boldness or you just speaking your truth. If you've noticed any of that coming out and how you feel about it, how your throat is feeling, this one was very strong for me. The self-worth and self-love, um, those self-love and self-worth light language transmissions that we recently did, I felt immediately, and it didn't feel like I was really having anything in my external kind of challenging, because it's something that you do internally when you have your self-worth and self-love experience. And so I just was kind of just emanating and like, no, I'm feeling really good. I was like really enjoying that. The clearing of the throat has a lot to do with the other, which is why I think I've noticed it so much. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that really quickly. I didn't want this video to be super long, and I'm actually pretty grateful that it seems already short enough where I feel like I've said everything I basically wanted to say, and then if we want to go deeper into a conversation like this, we can in the future, but I kind of just wanted to share that. I also wanted to share that a lot has been changing within me internally since Saturn shifted into Pisces, which is something I will be speaking on in another video. Thank God it's out of my first house. It was my first house for like 5 years because of all of the retrograding back and forth, and I have all Aquarius in my first house, even though I'm a Capricorn rising. So it's a very long time. So yeah, I wanted to share on that, wanted to check in and see if you've noticed any things with your throat. The next light language transmission will be coming up soon. Wanted to have the right time and space in order to present it, so that way there wouldn't be cars driving by outside when I'm doing it and all those other things that kind of, me as a Virgo Mars, I'm just like not about it. So the next one will be presented in a way when I've sat and decided, okay, this is the right space, time, place, etc., and so on, for us to receive it together. So thank you for listening to me speak. Thank you for receiving this. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and supporting me in the best way that you can. It does make a difference, and I am grateful for that, so thank you. And as always, until I see you next time, I'm sending you peace, and I'm sending you love.